Qiyana is one of the most annoying champions to verse in mid lane. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how you can always beat Qiyana in mid lane. So beating Qiyana is all about winning the first few levels. If you can put her far enough behind, she will never really be able to get online to get strong enough to start one-shotting you. But if you mess up in the first few levels and she gets ahead, you will basically get snowballed on, annihilated, one shot throughout the rest of the lane. So you got to nail these first few levels, right? The most important thing to keep in mind for Qiyana is that level 1, she is going to be extremely weak in most cases. What you can do is you can then slow push a wave, and then you can do a 2-wave crash, and then push it under tower and start harassing her as much as possible. Qiyana is a champion that works with all-in ranges. She wants to start all-inning you on level 3 in the lane, and she will then look for a solo kill with Ignite and with Electrocute. If she can get that solo kill, she wins the lane, and she's going to absolutely eat you up. If she does not get that solo kill and you actually win versus Qiyana, that's when you're in a position where you can actually start beating her. So let's talk about the strategies that she has of getting that solo kill onto you, okay? And if you can prevent that from happening, that's when you're going to be fine always. So level 1. Some Qiyanas will hide in bushes, okay? So they immediately sprint towards one of the side bushes, and then they will take W level 1. So what they're then going to do is they're going to sit in there, and if you walk too close, they will then immediately jump onto you. They trade even HP, so you like lose 40% of your HP bar and they lose 40% of their HP bar. And that's then worth for them because they are going to be able to put you in kill ranges. The moment you're below 70% HP, you can get immediately 100 to 0 one shots. So keep in mind that you got to keep your HP insanely high. Other techs that some Qiyanas run, the moment you don't run bone plating, is that they sometimes might take E level 1 and that they'll just E onto your face and do the exact same type of trading pattern. So be careful if you don't run bone plating. You don't have to run bone plating for Qiyana because she might just be able to proc it off quite easily with like a random Q, but just keep it in mind. You can just very simply lose the lane to cheese like that. So the one thing to keep in mind whenever you're slow pushing into Qiyana is, of course, keep in mind what her level 1 spell is. If you have info on that, it's going to make your job a whole lot easier. And I just saw that she actually took W level 1. So that means that I'm going to be quite careful with how I'm going to be using my spells because she might also just be able to just jump away and dodge out my spells and therefore have easier access to these minions. My goal is just to deny her as many minions as possible in the tower, and if she gives me the opportunity, I am gonna junk her, because the lower she is, the harder it is for her to find kill ranges. So right here, I missed my Q. I gotta be a little bit careful right now, and I'm immediately fighting for level 3 on this wave. The one that's gonna reach level 3 first is, of course, the one that's gonna be able to find all-ins earlier. So she reaches level 3 at the same time as me, and therefore I'm actually able to stand my ground into the bigger wave because I was full HP. If you're not full HP, right, she can all-in you quite easily. And also, if she reaches level 3 before you, you're going to get immediately blasted. So this is the key point where I see 90% of players that struggle into Qiyana mess up. This level 3 mark. This is what it's all about. If you can survive this level 3 mark and you get through it, immediately pot up as high HP as possible. Try to stay above that 70% range if possible, because Qiyana has these insane kill ranges. And what she might do is she might grab up Ice, E, Flash, Out Attack, W, Q with Ignite, and your HP's gone. Another key tip I have is that you really want to be careful and stay away from low health minions, because low health minions is what she's going to usually throw her spells onto. And if you then stand close to these low health minions, she might get AoE'd by her spells, leading into a position where she can poke you down and make you very low. So I use the level 4 incredibly well. Always hit these level up spikes for Qiyana. She's really a level up spike up user. And then you're in a position where you've now completely won lane. So this is the key to beating Qiyana, okay? You have to beat her early because there's going to be a point in the lane where if you don't beat her early, she actually skills up. She will 100 to 0 you at level 6. Like 100 to 0 killed. That's what happens. So you got to be very careful with that. And then the moment she gets ahead, she's going to start snowballing, pressure you off the wave, and then you're in a position where you're going to struggle. Now, I did not pick this vault only because I showed a decent few early levels. I also picked this vault because it shows you guys exactly the other way to lose versus Qiyana. And we're going to now see a very similar position where I actually take shit trades, I drop low, I'm immediately into kill ranges, and that puts me in a position where I get solo killed by her. Very easily too. It's like not even hard for her. So one of the key things that Qiyana players will do is that if they ever have a wave bouncing towards you, they're going to look to use this bouncing wave to get on top of you and trade. Because once again, Qiyana players want to trade because they put you low and then they'll be able to kill you. So there's two ways Qiyana players can trade. They can either either E through the minions. This is a very classic tool that they'll use, especially with the blue element. But if you get too close and you miss space, they can also E onto you. And as you can see, what happens in traits like these, right? Especially if you miss your spell, she is just going to eat me alive. This was just half my HP bar. And I don't have pots and she has pots. So because I'm now below this 70% range, I am basically fucked. Because of this bad trait and this wave state, I cannot really do anything. So what happens right now is because I took this bad trait and I didn't keep my HP high, she puts me in a position where I'm immensely struggling. I get hit by the other blue spell from her, and I should reset here because I'm below the kill range, right? But what I do is I'm a greedy motherfucker, and I actually stayed here in the lane. So what happens, I just get immediately killed. This wasn't even skill, dude. Look what she did. EQ Ignite. She didn't even auto-attack me. EQ Ignite. Maybe she auto-attacked me at the end. I'm not entirely sure. But she still had a W plus Q available. You see these kill ranges, guys? Mental kill ranges. Mental kill ranges. It's not even close, dude. It's not even close. So this is a quick way to then lose your lane. So be very careful for Qiyana all-wins, guys. It's all about staying high HP and then see if you can take small win-oriented traits onto her so that she then is in a position where she cannot really find these all-in windows without dying first herself. So stay above 70% HP, slowly chip away the health bar with slow pushing wave sets, really respect her on the bounce, be very careful for her level up spikes. And starting from level 6, you got to be even more careful because she will be able to try to all-in you with R. So the moment you actually get ahead, it's actually very hard for Qiyana to get back into the lane. So it's then purely up to you to mess it up. And the final thing that I want to mention is if you're playing a melee champion or you're playing a champion that is able to go cloth armor or ruby crystal in the early game, do it because you can basically start stat checking Qiyana insanely easy. It just becomes almost brain dead because she now cannot find these all-in ranges and therefore she's going to be in a position where she basically can't beat you. Now, the final thing I want to mention is that in the side lane, of course, you got to be careful of the Qiyana as well. She's a very strong side laner. She will look to set up ganks onto you. So make sure that you're in a position where you can, if you're playing a control match, you can kind of avoid her, or you have the ability to stat check her with proper itemization, then you're also totally fine. But the key is to really put her behind in the first few levels. And if that's not something that you succeed into, you're going to have a really tough game into Qiyana because let's be honest, Qiyana is kind of fake skill nowadays. Regardless, if you really struggle into Qiyana and there's any other points that you feel like, hey, I don't really know how to deal with it, put it in the comments. And I'm pretty sure that if you struggle with Qiyana, you also struggle with Nafiri. So for that one, check it out right here.